On this episode, I sit down with Clint Comeau. We get into moving with a purpose and what that means. We also discuss the blessings that come along with unanswered prayers, and make sure you stick around to the end, and we'll figure out what wonderfully difficult means to him. Let's talk about it. This is a show about things we struggle with, the ones we don't always talk about. Each episode is a real conversation meant to remind us that speaking honestly about what we're carrying doesn't make us weak. It's about finding clarity, encouragement, and the reminder that we're not alone in the struggle. This is wonderfully difficult. We kind of talked a little bit, obviously before this, and some of the things that came up to anybody that does know you, your what's the right word? Your attention to your physical health. If anybody's, like I said, known you for any extended period of time, you're constantly working out. You're constantly trying to better yourself. I see you bringing your family is involved in it. So it's obviously very important to you. What do you think triggered that for you? Because, everybody wishes they had the drive to, do that. But, so what do you feel like got you there?
Yeah, man. Well, I wish I would have started a lot younger, and I didn't. I was always pretty athletic, so I just kind of was good enough just by showing up, and I accepted that. I accepted being good enough, and eventually I just got to the point to realize that just good enough isn't going to get you anywhere. You got to put in that extra effort.
It'll get you just enough.
Yeah, exactly. It'll get you just enough. And for me, I really changed my life when things happened to me that I didn't think would ever happen to me. And it's not things that I'm proud of. And most certainly, I put myself in, the situation that I got in. I take responsibility for everything that's happened in my life. But so I would say the first starting point to where I made the decision, hey, I am going to climb that ladder one step at a time and just continuously get better was a breakup.
The great motivator.
Yeah, the great motivator. It definitely will help you take it there. And it did that for me. And it was life-changing, man. I've enjoyed the process of fighting my demons and working on myself. And I know we're talking about physical health right now, but it really ties into mental health, man. If you put in that work physically, the satisfaction and just the pride that you could take into it,
right.
it really pours over into your mental health.
It also it's being with the physical part of it. The more you put in, the more you can physically see. So you almost have a guideline of where I was to where I am.
Yeah.
And then you could take a picture or whatever. You can see the physical difference of your work. So that's we talked about a lot of episodes. We get into sports because that's a very important thing to me and to my family and pretty much a lot of people I'm around. But just to be able to see some of the rewards, because a lot of the work that people put into mental health, you can't see it.
Right.
You it's not a physical thing that you can measure, but something where it's like you start off working out. I can do 10 push-ups, but if I do 10 push-ups every day for 6 months, well, I can do 40 push-ups,
right,
and so on and so forth. So that's a huge. It's a huge builder in confidence, and that leads over to the mental health part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me add to that. That is also one of the biggest reasons why people stray away from the working out is because they started expecting to see those results immediately, and the whole delayed gratification thing, people just can't. They want it now. Everybody wants it right now. Yeah, I'm sorry, the instant gratification. Yeah, everybody wants it now, and it's just not it's just not realistic.
Right. And I had posted a clip or whatever on Facebook the other day that kind of went with that. I think you actually posted it too. I think I messaged you about it. The guy was saying, like, whenever you're doing the work, you got to do it for you.
Yeah, no
You
doubt,
can't
man.
do it for anything else, because you don't get credit for the work.
Man.
You get credit for the end result, but if you ain't doing it for you and you're doing it for some other reason, to get clout or to get whatever, then you're not going to go all the way through.
No doubt. And look, I tell you what, I've been there, man. I have been there. So when I started my working out journey and I was posting videos every day, I was getting all the love in the world. I'm telling you, like, man, I felt up there because the community, everybody was putting me up there like, man,
Way to go. Good job.
You are awesome. And then you make that little bit of progress, and I don't think it's that people are not as happy for you. I think they still supporting you. It doesn't come in the same way, because I mean, hey, you're doing it over and over again.
The new wore off.
Yeah, exactly. So
that goes perfect to another quote I saw, that a lot of times, whenever you're starting a workout journey, or you're starting any type of journey where you're having to put in some type of work to get to some type of goal, it seems like a lot of times you get people that want to cheer for you at two different spots, and the two different spots are at the finish line and at the starting line. But those are the two spots that you really don't need someone cheering for you, because
Right.
obviously if you're at the finish line, well, I made it. I don't
Right.
need you to cheer for me. I'm here. And then at the beginning,
you
you
made
don't-
the choice to start.
you don't really
so-
need anybody,
right.
because you made that choice. But that middle, that middle is where you really,
It's where the most work happens.
that's where
and the least praise
the
happens.
winning is done.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
when you have to keep doing the boring middle over and over and over and over for, depends on what you're doing, years, months, weeks. It's not ever going to be instant, and that's to nobody's fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for you to cheer for me for everything that I do, but the point of that is you need to know that going in, that there's going to be a time when it matters the most, that no one cares.
Right.
And you have to understand that. And I feel like, well, they say knowing is half the battle. So understand that.
Yeah.
The winning is going to be done by you whenever you're ready. And we've talked about the physical part of, health and stuff like that. And you can watch all the videos, you can listen to all the songs, you can go to all the little hype things you want to watch, Ray Lewis pump you up, ready to run through the wall. But until you are ready, none of that other stuff matters.
Yeah.
Whenever you're 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and you're ready to not be that anymore, you won't need nobody to cheer for you at the finish line or the start line or the middle line, because you're going to wake up every day going, I'm done. I'm ready to get to whatever the goal may be. So it's what's the other statement they say? You can't wait to feel ready, because ready's not a feeling. Ready is a decision.
Yeah.
And your case just happened to be a breakup that's
triggered that decision.
Made you the decision of ready is now, you know? And you seem like you've adopted that as more of a part of your routine, as more of a part of your life. It doesn't, and that's whenever it makes it easier. Now it doesn't feel like you're pushing yourself. It just feels like, well, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? David Goggins. You ever seen him? Heard of him? I mean, my man is just, that's his life. It's not a decision. It's not nothing. He's like, I wake up and I'm an animal.
Well, look, man, I'm no David Goggins.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like the whenever that's who you are.
No, absolutely.
You don't feel like you're putting in any work. You're just what I do.
I'm at the point right now where, man, that's pretty much how I feel. I'm not putting in any real kind of work. What you see right now, you can make happen with just a little bit of give a damn. Just a little bit.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing nothing special. I haven't reinvented the wheel. I'm not doing a couple hour workouts. I don't diet. Like, I don't do none of that.
Right.
All I do is move with purpose. And right now, my goal is providing for my family and climbing that ladder. So everything I do is with those thoughts in mind. So I'm moving with purpose. If we go down there and you got a big old chocolate cake baked, I'm gonna dabble in it. I'm gonna enjoy myself, but I will do it with purpose.
Right.
I know what my end goals are.
Right. This is gonna cost this many bicycle kicks, or Yeah, but I mean, moving with a purpose. That's a powerful statement. I feel like a lot of the people, like the struggles that men go through. I feel like maybe some of the lost ones, the ones that feel like they're alone, and the ones that are struggling with these different thoughts, maybe they don't have that purpose. Because I know that in my life, as I was coming into my own as a young man, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I made mistakes, and then it took me meeting a person, getting her pregnant to become a father, and then all of a sudden I have a purpose. I have a reason to not fuck up. I have a reason to there's somebody counting on me now,
Right, no doubt.
So the moving with a purpose is massive. That's a huge statement, and it means a lot with such a small words.
And man, when you move with purpose in every aspect of your life, all you can do is win.
Right.
Like, it is what it is. And I live by that. I am walking explanation. Right now, I am living as good as I ever have. And that's not to say that I don't struggle more than I ever have. Some of my struggles, it's crazy how two things can be true. It like at the end of each spectrum, I'm telling you, my life is so good. I'm so blessed. I love everything about my life. And there's some things like inside of me that I got to let go of that are just trying to fight against that purpose. So even though I'm climbing that ladder, sometimes I'm taking a couple steps back.
Yeah.
But in the long run, I'm acknowledging my faults, and I'm making the right decisions to keep moving forward.
Right. And it was the way you gotta weigh the Libra scales of sins and forgiveness. And
okay, Wayne.
Shout out. But like it's crazy how it happens, because I can think back to a time in my life where I didn't have these cares and nothing mattered, and I didn't care if I had a job or didn't have a job or whatever, and life was so easy, like it was no cares. But then I feel like the better person that you try to be, the more you're tested, or maybe it's equal testing, but the fact that you do care now because you're moving with this purpose versus before nothing mattered. Like I literally, whatever we're doing tomorrow, today, nothing matters. I'm just nothing. But now, the more that purpose comes into frame, the more pressure you put on yourself, because now you are a provider, you are a father, you are a husband, you are all these things, and a lot of it is probably, it is deserving pressure, but a lot of it is probably false pressure, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's certain things where, I guess if you have to question yourself, if you ever question yourself, like, do I do enough for my kids? Do I show up for my kids enough? Like, could I do more? That right, you're doing more than enough. The fact that you reflected is you're doing more and some.
No doubt, man. And that's what I would consider one of my biggest struggles is, am I giving my children what they deserve? And what I am coming to realize is, no, I'm not, and I will never be able to. I am not possible to give them what they deserve. My wife, my kids, they deserve so much more than I am willingly capable of to give, like physically, everything, the demands of life. I just can't do it. And even if I had everything in the world, I don't believe I could give it to them.
Right.
Because they're just worth so much more.
Right. It means everything to you. So how do you put a price tag or whatever on something that's like, this is everything, it's worth more than anything I could give, and that, to me, again, that should, you should say that out loud and be like, does anybody else think that way? Like, is there people out there that are just like, again, without the purpose, those are the ones that should be asking themselves those questions. But a person who is willing to look at themselves in that light, I feel like is a good person, because it takes a good person to care. It takes a good person to realize those things. But I guess as we travel through the journey of life, we could touch on this topic. With the reason you got to the breakup, the reason you got to your physical, and the way your life worked out. Not just you, me, pretty much probably everybody in this watching this. There was a time in your life where you would have given anything for something to work out, but then by the fact that whatever that was didn't work out, it transforms you and gives you something that you couldn't have even imagined for yourself.
No doubt.
What was it? Garth Brooks, the unanswered prayers, because if everything that you ever wanted in your life would have went how you wanted it to go in that moment, we wouldn't be sitting right here. Yeah. You wouldn't have met your wife. You wouldn't have had the kids you had. Right. You wouldn't have had the job you had. You wouldn't have the mindset you have. But in that moment of the wanting your life to go that certain way, you couldn't think this. Right. You wasn't even thinking about it.
It's a beautiful thing, man. When you look back on it, it's just, it really is a beautiful thing.
Right. And then you go back and you look at your younger self and you're like, man, hey, bro, let it all play out. Like, you're going to places that are gonna blow your mind. Yeah, man. But you gotta hurt, and you gotta feel that to get to that.
And I feel that so much in my heart, man. My past, I'm not happy about it. I'm not gonna kick myself down like I didn't do a lot of things that I was happy about. But right. Man, I made a lot of stupid decisions in my life that I'm really not proud of. Right. And
I think we all been there.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing that we're able to live and learn.
Right. But I guess to piggyback off of that, how do you navigate having a child in different marriages and different relationships, and like, is that something that you?
Well, I tell you what. The number one thing you do is you don't have a kid with anyone. You make sure whoever you're having a kid with is someone that you generally really care about, and right. You think about all situations that could potentially happen. Now, of course, when we had our daughter, we was not thinking we're going to split up.
Right. But of course,
as far as our family, a broken family. I don't even like to refer to it as that, really, because even though we're split up, we have a good relationship because we love our daughter. We put our children first, and it really makes everything easy. We've never had to go to court or any kind of legal battles. No, never. From day one when we split up, we said, hey, you get 1 week, I get 1 week. And man, it's been like that ever since. And that's not to say it's give and take. It's got to be. Right. If she calls me up and says, "Hey, we got this going on for grandma or
whatever,
for whatever," I give and I take.
Right.
Because
But again, you're not being selfish. Right. In that, because if you could be selfish and be like, no, it's my weekend and they're going to be with me, but then you're just really hurting the whole vibe.
You're hurting your relationship with your daughter or son. Right. You're just hurting everything. That's going to spill over into everything else. And that's why you want to move with a purpose. And that's with everything in every aspect.
Right. And then you're setting yourself up for you make the phone call. Hey, grandma or whatever, we got this going on. Is that? Oh, no. Remember whenever I called you and then you said no? So then so you're hurting. You're not making it fluent. You're being difficult for no reason, I guess. But not everybody is fortunate to be able to sit here and say that you never had to go to court. Because I know a lot of people that have been down that road of separation, and I don't think I've ever heard one time where somebody said, "No, man, we never went to court. We just settled it ourselves."
Yeah, man, it's crazy. some of the stuff that goes on. And I'm just glad that, I didn't have to deal with anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. It seems, from the outside looking in, it seems like you guys have a great relationship. Anytime I see y'all at football games or basketball games, or it always it's never awkward. It's always
Yeah.
very.
And, I tell you what. So I can't take full credit for that. I have to thank my wife. So my wife is the number one reason why I am where I'm at right now. It's not because I started working out and
Right.
that led me. That didn't even lead me to my wife. Me and my wife knew each other and we crossed paths. And my wife seen the potential in me at a low point in my life, and she helped me and elevated me to where I'm at right now. So big shout out to my wife.
That's one of the things, man, that any man that's struggling with life, which we all are in some kind of way, and man, without having that support that you get from that only your wife can give you, that's a lot of times that's all you really need is that one person that's like, I know I can't let you down because you chose me whenever I couldn't even choose me,
Yeah.
and that's you can't really you can't put a price on that, what I mean? And that goes back to when you're saying like, man, there's nothing I can give you, because without that person, man, where would you be?
Right.
And it taught you this is your purpose. This is where you're moving to.
Yeah, it really shaped my life, man. Like, seriously, I cannot thank my wife enough. And, we're not perfect. Like, we have our arguments and just like everybody.
Right.
But I tell you what, it does not take me long to realize, you stupid mother, you better get in there and go make things right, because that's my life.
Correct. It takes another evolving moment or another clarity that you can have is don't ever let your pride or your ego stand between making up with your wife. If it's something, not there are things that could happen that but if it's one of those things where damn well that in 2 days from now y'all are gonna pick back up, well, let's not waste these 2 days.
Right.
Let's just, my bad, you know what I mean, or whatever. Let's fix it now. Be like, you're my best friend. Who I'm gonna talk to for 2
Right.
days.
And we know that's easier said than done.
Of course.
When you're in the middle of the fire, it's really, really hard. But
yeah, I mean, we can sit up here. We could solve the whole world's problems sitting up here at this table. But once we leave from the table, that's a whole different thing. But I guess it's good though. People can tune in, and we could talk about real things, and it's lighthearted, but what they don't see is all the things that led you the time between. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Look, I tell you what, I had some really low times that a bunch of people didn't see because I fell off. I just stayed to myself.
Right.
I was ashamed of myself. I didn't show my face, and man.
But that's another point, to let people know, let me know, let them know. Like the biggest mistake that we make is whenever we are faced with those, we'll call it the darkness or whatever you want. Everybody got their different terms, but we'll call it the darkness. When you're in the darkness, it talks to you and it tells you that you're not worth it. Nobody cares. You suck, and it just keeps putting you down.
Well, I tell you what, man, and the mind is a powerful thing. So it's the same thing when you're in the light, the goodness.
Right.
No, it's like whatever you believe, you can shape that into reality.
Right.
So if you're having depressed, sad thoughts, like really start with them thoughts, man, because they shape so much more of your life than you think.
Yeah, and then one of the main things that the darkness tells you is it puts down on you. It's negativity, and then it tells you you're alone, and it tells you nobody cares, and it tells you that you're you should be ashamed, and it just keeps putting you down and putting you down. But if things like this podcast, man, I'm telling everybody out there, I care. I don't even know who you are, and I care. You're not alone. Pick up the phone, call somebody. I don't ever want you to feel alone. If you're ever in a dark place, it kind of goes back to like that feeling of being a child, and you're in your room and there's monsters under your bed, or there's monsters in your closet and it's dark and it's scary. But if you can have somebody come sit in there with you, it feels better. Now, if if a monster comes out from under the bed, your sister ain't gonna do nothing to save you, but it calms you and you feel not as scared because you're not alone.
Yeah.
And same goes for that, man. If somebody's going through something, don't ever go sit in a closet alone. Because I'm not a therapist. I don't have all the answers. I got my own struggles. But if you call me at whatever time, I'll come sit in the darkness with you. We ain't got to say nothing. We can just sit there, and I'm here, bro. What we doing?
Yeah.
And that's a powerful tool to have.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I guess, another thing too, everybody has been there at some point in time, and you try to treat other people how you want to be treated. And I guess that's kind of what this is about, and because I was there. You just said you were there. You isolated, and what did you want in that moment?
Cheese fries. I was tearing up cheese fries, gaining 50 pounds. Just cheese fries, cuz.
That was it? Little seasoning?
Nah, but yeah, man.
I thought you were taking it. You said the cheese fries. I thought we were going somewhere.
But now, hopefully not back to cheese fries.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not to the cheese fries. But I guess we'll close it out. I guess before we close it, what does wonderfully difficult mean to you?
Well, it is it's life. Wonderfully difficult is life. It is just one big, beautiful struggle. And that's what life is. Nothing worth having in this life is easy. Anything worth having is going to be difficult. And in fact, it's going to be wonderfully difficult. You have to look for the wonderful, though.
Right.
Because it's not always just revealing itself. When you're standing there in the middle of that fire, it's hard to make those choices to think positive, to think the glass half full, or, however. But it's just important to keep that right mindset and keep those positive thoughts, and that'll shape everything else. I seen you said something on Facebook earlier asking about, what is happiness to you?
Right.
And, for me, happiness is a choice. I wake up every morning and I choose happiness. When I walk through the door and I get home from work, I choose happiness, no matter what's going on. And that's not to say that I haven't had my bad days or whatever, I have them just as much as anybody else. But the majority of the time, I'm looking to choose happy. And I'm just looking for the best option, man. I just want to be happy, and I want happiness for everybody. I want love for everybody. I think we all deserve something great.
Right.
And yeah, man.
I think happiness is it's different for each person. Sometimes happiness could be a material thing. Sometimes happiness could be people. Sometimes happiness can be peace. But like you said, I like how you put it. You choose happiness because happiness isn't something that you can touch or grab or feel. And to feel happy is the same energy as to feel negatively or depressed. It takes the same mindset to think those ways.
Yep.
And, I'm of the belief of, like you said a minute ago, your mind is very powerful and you find what you're looking for. How many times in your life have you noticed something that you never noticed? Like for me, for instance, I started working at Coke a couple years ago, and I never paid attention to Coke employees in the world before. But then you start working at Coke, and I start seeing them, and now everywhere I go, I see Coke people everywhere. But because I'm looking for them now. But
exactly,
they were there before.
That's exactly how the mind works,
right.
man. Yeah.
So once you tune into what you're looking for, you play the punch bug game. I haven't seen a punch bug in 10 years because I hadn't played that game in 10 years. But I guarantee you, if I go out there tomorrow and we start playing it, I'm going to see 20 of them.
Yeah.
They're still there. I just ain't looking for them. So, that being said, why not look for the good things? Why? Life's already hard enough, man. I don't need to look for nothing negative. Like, I'm trying to find the minuscule piece of happiness because you only get one go at it. And
I heard that.
the least we can do is be happy, or try to, the pursuit of it. But man, I appreciate you finally coming up here.
Man, we freaking did it, dude. Thanks for having me.
We've been talking about for quite a while, and I'm glad it finally worked out.
Got me out of my comfort zone, and I tell you what, like, I feel good now. So when we come back for the next one, it'd be even better.
Yeah, it's a little more intimidating than people realize.
I was feeling real confident, like really confident, and then even downstairs, and then we finally got up here, and I seen you messing with everything, and you're like, check 1 2, check 1 2. And I was like, I don't even want to say anything. Like, I feel like a freaking idiot. What am I doing? But now, I don't feel that way. Now it's kind of like, okay, this is it.
We're just talking.
We're doing it now. Well, I'm doing it now. You've been doing it.
Right.
But shout out to you, man. Like, this is very awesome. I'm proud of you, and I love seeing people do what they love, especially in a positive manner, man. Like, you're really helping people out, and you're touching on subjects that don't get talked about enough,
Right.
As men, as fathers, it's like, who's coming to save us?
Nobody.
Who's saving Superman?
Right.
We are the hero. We are the ones that people are relying on. So,
but every good hero got a sidekick.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're never fully by yourself. You got the team around you, and especially like for listening to the way you talk about your wife, it seems like you got more than enough help.
Man, look. So, I'm a father of 4, special needs child, and so my youngest son, he's autistic, and until you've experienced that, you really have no idea, man, what it's like.
Right.
Like, it is just, it's such a blessing, but it is so hard. It is really hard when you have to life and juggle him,
right?
Because he knows no real routine. We don't know if we're gonna get a full night's sleep or if we're gonna be up all night, because he'll get up 1 o'clock in the morning, full throttle, strip naked, run out in the backyard. It could be raining, freezing cold. He does not care. Right. He just wants to be out there running around, enjoying himself. So
on top of life, you add an extra layer, and that's what we've looked at every guest so far that's been on here, and a lot of it's similar, and there's differences throughout. Obviously, different careers, different aspects, but it seems like everybody's got their own little extra piece that the next person doesn't know nothing about, and that's another thing about kindness and stuff. Somebody that doesn't know you doesn't know that you're going through this plus this and all this other stuff. So
right, and I tell you what, that's what really helps me get through my stuff, is because I know someone out there has got it even harder than I do.
Right.
I got 4 kids, 1 special needs. Someone's got 4 special need kids. That takes way more attention. So, or just whatever. It may not even be special needs, and I don't even want to make it seem like my son is a crutch or anything.
Well, somebody's out there trying to have a kid and can't.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would give anything to have whatever they could get. Not saying anything negatively about any of that, but like that's a great point. You don't know what the next man's going through. And I promise you, there is somebody that's dealing with something that's 10 times worse than everybody.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
And way deeper than you can imagine.
And then life is, we're never going to win. We're going to lose. That's inevitable. At some point, you're going to lose. And then it's not like a game where like, oh, look, if we get past obstacle number 1 and obstacle number 2, that's it. There's no more problems. No, because every single problem that you ever fix is going to be followed up with another problem. No. And that's just what it is. That's life. You're just constantly navigating problems, and it's we had a personal thing happen in our household, and my daughter was taught a lesson in a way, and I tried to explain to her that your life is about figuring out how to lose, because no matter how much you win, you're going to lose 10 times more. So,
and how you react after that loss is going to determine how much you win.
Right.
That's why, man, like sports,
you're going to lose more than you win.
I cannot think of anything that I've learned more than stuff from sports. Like all the stuff they teach us in school, like past sixth grade.
Right.
I can't think of, honestly, anything that I use in my day-to-day life that's helped me get to this point to where I'm at right now. But everything that happened on those ballpark fields, on that basketball court,
in the gym or in the field,
it really comes full circle, and you see it happening in the real world.
Right.
You know, you're taught what to do when things aren't going your way, how to keep fighting. You're still trying to win. You're moving with purpose. Like all
hard
those
work
things
pays off.
Really, I learned through being out there.
So, like you said, you know, the better you can get equipped with learning how to lose, the more you're gonna win.
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter how you win. Everybody loves a winner, but it matters how you lose, how you reflect on things you can do to better yourself. Because that's the only thing you can really do. You can worry about this or that, but the only thing that's going to get you back to the winner circle is going inside and saying, "Hey, I came up short here. I need to do better on this. I need to do better on this," and that's going to lead to more winning. But if you lose and you pout and it's your fault and it's their fault and it's this thing,
right?
It's that's not me. And it's, you're going to continue to lose until you can figure it out.
And so life, it's like we said, just like the sports. We're in the game right now, and a lot of people talk about men shouldn't cry and all this. Well, that's BS. Let those emotions out. But what I will say is it does matter as a man when you cry.
Right.
You don't want to do it in the middle of the game.
Right.
When you're out there trying to win, that's not the time to cry. So there's a time and place for it, and that falls in line with the purpose. Right. You move with the purpose, with your ultimate goal, and everything else falls under that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, this has been a wonderfully difficult episode.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, I appreciate you coming, man.
Thanks for having me.